Picture this, a blank iPhone screen, no Xcode, no Swift, no project files. And 8 minutes later, you are holding a fully working iOS app with a backend, a database, AI image processing, user accounts, and paid subscriptions, built not by a team of engineers, but by one person typing prompts into an AI-powered tool called Vibecode. This is not a concept video or a fake mockup. YouTuber Riley Brown actually does it in real time in 493 seconds from zero to App Store ready. And the question you have to ask yourself is simple. If an AI can do this today, what does that do to the way software gets built tomorrow? Riley calls the video, "I built and published an iOS app in 493 seconds with backend." The app is a homework helper for parents. You take a photo of your kid's worksheet, and an AI model called Nano Banana Pro sends back a new version with the correct answers and the full step-by-step work, drawn on like digital pen ink. It is wired to a real backend built on Vibecode Cloud with a database, authentication, and a $4.99 per month subscription powered by RevenueCat. Here is the twist. There is no manual coding on screen. It is prompts, clicks, and an AI system quietly generating the same stack a small startup would normally pay real money and real time to build. Let us start at the beginning, because the way this app appears is almost unsettling. Riley does not sketch wireframes or drag buttons around. He feeds Vibecode a single paragraph, a homework helper for parents. Take a photo of a worksheet. Show the AI writing the solution step by step. That is it. From that one description, Vibecode sends the text into Claude Opus 4.5, Anthropic's flagship model, running in what they call Claude Code mode. In seconds, the tool infers screens, navigation, and basic interactions, then compiles it into a runnable iOS interface. When the simulator boots, the app already looks coherent. There is a camera-centric home screen, a big capture button, and a results view that feels like a scanned worksheet. Claude has inferred a user flow. Open the app, snap homework, wait for analysis, then see the edited output. No one typed, add a loading state, but the model invented one anyway. It even adds a subtle pencil animation with the caption, "Our AI is carefully analyzing the problem and writing the solution step by step." This is where it stops feeling like a toy and starts feeling like a junior designer quietly working in the background. Here is the part that should make every product manager sit up. Vibecode is not asking for components, it is interpreting concepts. The words parents and kids push it toward a friendly, non-technical layout. The phrase "take a photo" becomes a full-width camera preview with a giant shutter button. Show all of the work turns into a scrollable results area, ready to display a full page of step-by-step math. Behind the scenes, it is mapping those ideas to Swift UI-style components, but all Riley sees is a polished screen. In a minute, we will get to the back end, but first, the app needs a brain. The shell is nice, but the magic happens when Riley plugs in the AI. He jumps into Vibecode's API tab, selects Nano Banana Pro, and writes a plain English instruction. Add the correct answer and all of the work to a photo of homework. That single sentence defines how the external model should edit images, down to writing answers in pen and returning a teacher-ready worksheet. Vibecode turns that into a real integration. It generates the API call, passes the captured photo, and pipes the edited image back into the results view. No manual headers or payloads required. Riley tests it with a real worksheet. He snaps a photo, waits a few seconds, and the edited page comes back with George Washington filled in, math problems solved, even some skipped partial problems, all rendered as if a parent had done it by hand. Under the hood, when AI is delegating to another, Claude Code writes the glue code that talks to Nano Banana Pro, orchestrating the whole flow. This is more than a neat demo. It is a pattern. Apps become thin clients, while specialized AI models do the heavy lifting on the other side of an API. And this changes who gets to build serious, AI-powered products. Now, here is where traditional no-code tools usually fall apart: the backend. Instead of wading through Firebase consoles or wiring Supabase and Auth0, Riley types one prompt to Vibecode. Move the AI feature to the backend, add a database, and bolt on authentication to store previous images. That is it. Vibecode Cloud, their backend as a service, spins up on demand. It auto-generates APIs, data models, and auth flows that line up with the existing iOS frontend the AI already created. You do not see config files. You just see the app quietly grow new powers. When the backend finishes generating, a tiny profile icon appears in the app. Tap it, and suddenly there is a real sign up and login flow. Behind that, Vibecode Cloud has created a user authentication system, a database table for generated images, and cloud endpoints to run Nano Banana Pro on the server. Riley hits save on a processed worksheet, then opens the Cloud tab in the browser. There it is, a generated image table with a row for the exact homework snapshot he just edited, complete with a live image URL. Crucially, the heavy AI call has moved off the device. The app now sends the photo to the backend. Vibecode Cloud calls Nano Banana Pro, processes the result, and writes the output to the database before sending it back down. That shift unlocks things like rate limiting, logging, per user quotas, and even parental controls without touching the app's core layout. Historically, the jump from demo on my phone to multi-user app with persistent data took days or weeks. Here, it happens in under 10 minutes. And we have not even talked about what happens when the AI gets something wrong. The first time Riley tries to save a generated image, the app blows up. No stack trace, no Xcode console, just a red error banner and a single button labeled fix. This is where Vibecode quietly flexes. When he taps fix, the platform sends the failing request, the generated code, and the runtime logs back through its own AI pipeline. It asks Claude Code what went wrong, regenerates the broken pieces, and redeploys. A minute later, the same flow runs cleanly. Photo, Nano Banana Pro call, saved to database, no error. What you are seeing is self-healing code. Instead of a human developer spending 30 to 90 minutes reproducing the bug, inspecting network calls, tracing functions, and redeploying, the system patches itself from a single click. Because the same AI that wrote the architecture remembers the auth flow, the database schema, and the Nano Banana integration, it can reason across the whole stack faster than a person bouncing between files. If this pattern holds its scale, bugs stop being tickets in a backlog and start being prompts you send to an AI. That does not erase engineers, but it absolutely changes where their time is spent. Around the 4-minute mark in his build, Riley does something that used to take entire product teams. He adds monetization. He opens Vibecode's payments tab with a quick gesture, and the tool spins up a linked revenue cap project automatically. No hunting for API keys, no manual store kit setup. He writes another prompt: create a monthly subscription for $4.99 and add a paywall screen whenever a user tries to take a photo without paying. Claude responds with a fully wired paywall view that gates the core feature behind a premium tier. The paywall does not look like a hacked-together side project. It has bold typography, clear copy, and a big 3D rendered camera over homework icon as the hero image. That icon is also AI generated, created inside Vibecode's own asset tab from a text prompt. Riley types 3D render icon of a camera over a homework assignment, gets a grid of options, picks his favorite, and tells the system, use this icon on that paywall screen, make this big. The image drops straight into the app's asset catalog, perfectly sized, no exporting or resizing. RevenueCat's sandbox handles the rest of the flow. In the dashboard, a study sketch project appears automatically with the $4.99 product and offering already configured. Riley triggers the paywall in the simulator, walks through the fake purchase, and confirms that the premium unlock logic works before anything touches the App Store. For solo founders, this flips the script. Instead of spending weeks wiring receipts and debugging edge cases, you can A/B test pricing and feature gates in an afternoon, powered by prompts. Notice what has happened by this point. Vibecode has not just been a coder, it has acted like a creative director. Instead of opening Figma or hiring a designer, Riley uses the same interface to generate his app icon, his paywall artwork, and the tiny micro interactions that give the product personality. Visual design becomes another API call, not a separate workflow. The line between developer, designer, and growth marketer starts to blur into one role: the person who knows what they want and can describe it clearly to an AI. So, what are the real stakes here? In under 10 minutes, one creator orchestrated a full stack, monetized, AI-powered iOS app that would have taken a small team days or weeks. Development speed and complexity stop being enemies and start feeling like sliders on an AI-controlled panel. If you are a solo builder, this means you can ship more ideas faster and test them with real users instead of living in prototype land. If you are a traditional developer, it means your job shifts from typing every line to shaping architecture, guarding quality, and asking better questions. And for companies, the competitive angle is sharp. Teams that adopt tools like Vibecode and Vibecode Cloud can prototype, iterate, and monetize at a pace that makes traditional release cycles look ancient. The no-code revolution was already lowering the barrier to entry. Now it is AI-powered, full stack, and self-healing. The first movers will not just save money on engineering, they will learn faster than everyone else. The real moat becomes your ideas, your data, and how quickly you can turn prompts into products. Of course, there are open questions. Can self-healed code become a tangled mess over time with hundreds of silent patches? How do we audit, secure, and govern apps that were mostly written by models? And what happens to junior developer roles when the junior work is automated away by Claude and friends? Those are not reasons to ignore this wave. They are reasons to engage with it now while the patterns are still forming, because the tools are already here and they are only getting better. Riley Brown's 493-second build is more than a viral stunt. It is a glimpse of a new default. Describe the app you want, let AI assemble the stack, and spend your time on ideas, not infrastructure. The no-code revolution is now very much AI-powered, and it is moving from toy demos to production-style loops with real backends, real payments, and real users. The only remaining question is, what will you build when the hardest part is just writing the first paragraph? If you want to see more deep dives into tools like Vibecode, Vibecode Cloud, and the new generation of AI app builders, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next breakdown. Drop a comment and tell me this. If you had 493 seconds and a tool like this, what would you ship first? A homework helper, a niche SaaS, a game, something wild we have not thought of yet? Your ideas are the only real limit now, and in the next videos, we will explore how to turn